From the Pep Radio Newsroom, this is the daily news for May 5th, 2026. The Education Department has opened a probe into Smith College for admitting trans women. The U.S. Department of Education opened an investigation Monday into Smith College, an all-women's institution in Massachusetts, for admitting transgender women. The probe by the department's Office of Civil Rights will look at whether the college violated Title IX, a 1972 law forbidding discrimination based on sex in education. The move is the latest by the Trump administration, whose rhetoric has frequently included attacks on trans people to limit transgender rights in the United States. The administration has said that Title IX prevents trans women from participating in women's sports, suing several states and launching investigations into schools for not complying. Smith College, however, a private liberal arts school founded in 1871, has admitted trans women since 2015, along with many other elite women's colleges. The school's admission policies drew attention and sparked on-campus activism in 2013 when a trans high school senior was denied acceptance because her gender identity did not match the one on her financial aid forms. Its website now says that any applicants who self-identify as women, cis, trans, and non-binary women, are eligible to apply to the school. Advocates have supported the shift over the years, saying that women's colleges were founded to educate those marginalized because of their gender. In other news, from hospice, former Representative Barney Frank urges Democrats to rethink trans rights approach. Speaking from hospice care and appearing unwell in an interview with CNN's Jake Tapper on Sunday, the Democrat said he is living with end-stage heart failure. I felt better. On the other hand, I anticipate feeling worse, he said. After 86 years, my heart is just wearing out. Frank, with a characteristic aside about whether he'd rather be remembered as an icon or an emoji, said his critique comes from within the left, not outside it. He argued that mainstream Democrats were slow to take economic inequality seriously and that progressives were right to force the issue onto the party's agenda. But he said that success also created a new problem. Some advocates, he suggested, use that momentum to push a broader set of social and cultural changes faster than the public was prepared to accept. We didn't get to marriage until after these other things had been resolved, and that's what I'm suggesting that we do today, he said. While not explicitly questioning the legitimacy of trans people in public life, Frank said he had concerns about how some of the most politically volatile debates, especially sports, are being discussed. The analog is male-to-female transsexuals playing sports designated for women. Frank said, not us. That's what Frank said, using language that many advocates now consider outdated. He added that in the interest of the transgender community, as well as others, it could be better to go at that in a more granular way and not simply announce it if you don't support it, you're a homophobe, he said. And finally, data experts say that absolute collapse among this core group will doom the GOP's election changes. CNN's chief data analyst, Harry Enton, said on Monday that the president is losing a very important demographic, and that loss could spell doom for Republicans running in swing districts nationwide. Enton pointed out that at this point during the president's first term, his support among Republican-leaning independent voters was 73%. However, at this point, only 53% of those voters are still supporting him. This group is significantly dragging down his approval ratings, Enton said, noting that the group's approval of the president was at 91% during the 2024 elections, a 38-point drop. Down he goes, an absolute collapse, Enton said. Down he goes, down into the deep blue sea. Kind of like Iran's ships, according to Trump. Enton added that polling shows the same voter group only supporting Republican candidates by 68%, a 15-point decrease from just 18 months ago. If those numbers hold or worsen over the next 6 months between now and the November midterm elections, a lot of those swing district congressional members right on the Republican side will be waving adios, amigos, goodbye, auf Wiedersehen, he said. That's the news at this hour. The Pep Radio YouTube channel posts daily news updates between 1 p.m. and 2 a.m. Pep Radio is available on the Live 365 app, the Pep Radio page at paequality.com, Roku, and Alexa, among other channels. Up next, we have the Meadville area weather forecast here on Pep Radio.